Welcome to another action-packed episode of BattleBots at Home, where miniature machines do everything they can to destroy each other. Taking a look at our fight card, you can see several high-stakes battles where the outcome could have major tournament implications. Duck and Inverse will have the ultimate lifter battle. 0-2 bots like Never Saw Coming and Radiation need a win now more than ever as they face off against big-named bots like Cobalt and Bronco. And for our main event, 2-0 bots Pump Up and Smasher face off to see who can finish their season at a perfect 3-0 record. But first, we got a pair of 1-1 bots ready to face off. It's Witch Doctor going up against Emergency. Let's get into that fight right now. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. The two bots go head to head and immediately Emergency's lifter has broken off. I think it's broken off in every single fight they've ever fought. But they don't need it usually. They're a good wedge. However, they're upside down, but pushing into Witch Doctor so far. Witch Doctor gets behind and you can see the whiff difference. Emergency is a much wider bot, which makes it easier for them to corral other bots. As they push right into Witch Doctor's face, Witch Doctor uppercuts them with that vertical spinner. Remember, this version of Witch Doctor is the Season 1 version. The version they wanted to bring couldn't work last minute, so they had to compromise with this. But it seems to be working good as this still packs a punch, and they rip off an entire drive pod. Half of Emergency's drive is gone. They've lost an entire wheel. They've lost a bunch of the wedge. They're in a lot of trouble. More pieces go flying. Oh my goodness, and it's over. Emergency has been eviscerated in incredibly brutal fashion, and Witch Doctor advances to 2-1. Honestly, in this fight, Emergency just got overwhelmed. They lost their lifter, but that usually isn't that much of a problem as they're a really good ram bot. But whenever Witch Doctor did get underneath them, they were able to do damage to that wedge. Emergency trying its best to slam into Witch Doctor as best they could, but once they got to the side and ripped off that wheel, the fight was pretty much done then and there. Witch Doctor just throwing them out like trash. Amazing win courtesy of Witch Doctor. Duck has been doing pretty well this season. With decent wins over Quickshot and Rusty, the bot is now 2-0 and should be looking good to get into the tournament, especially if they can win this next fight. Their opponent is Inverse, who started the season off with an amazing win over Bronco before everything came crashing down in their match with Hydration, and the bot currently stands at 1-1. The team knows how important it is to win this fight, and so they've added a special attachment to help them out in this lifter versus lifter fight. Will it work out? Let's find out now. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Duck is undefeated so far, but will that change? Inverse getting underneath them. Was that attachment a good idea? We don't know right now. The two bots going nose to nose, but Inverse getting underneath Duck, and yeah, that attachment is working pretty well. Duck pushed into the corner, trying to get out of there. They're slow to self-right, but they are invertible, so it shouldn't matter as they try to get off the wall. All but too late. They're out of the arena, and Inverse has won this fight. Duck, quack, 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 all the way to the other side of the pond and the other side of the arena. As you can see, the attachments seem to work pretty well for Inverse. They were able to outreach the lifter of Duck, and once they got him where they wanted, pushed him to the corner. They didn't let them go. And unfortunately, Duck could not fly its way out of this problem. Inverse just lifting the big beaked bot right out of the arena. Inverse, a really good control bot, really good lifter bot. Now they're 2-1, and they should be good to go heading into the tournament. Up next, we got two more 1-1 bots ready to do everything they can to get a second win. We have one of the scariest verts ever built, Disco Inferno, taking on Tension, the unique rubber band powered flipper. Who will claim victory and go 2-1? Let's find out right now. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Really interesting matchup. Oh, and Disco Inferno immediately throws Tension across the box. That massive disc has so much weight and power as they keep brutalizing the underside of Tension. Tension needs to get out of that corner. Oh, on the sidewall. Disco Inferno showing no mercy, and it would seem that the wheels have been taken away from Tension as they're thrown across the sky once again. Disco Inferno just playing with its food. Tension fires the flipper, but it does nothing, and Tension is left without any chance of winning as they just getting ripped apart again. There's nothing left of Tension. Disco Inferno, you are one bad bot. Disco Inferno, they go 2-1, and just look at what's left of poor Tension. Tension is, or should I say was, a really interesting bot, but they were just no match for that giant disc. The reach was so amazing. They immediately hit the side of Tension, threw them across the box, and they never got a chance to recover. Disco Inferno just hitting them as much as possible, tearing pieces off. Eventually, they took off the wheels. The fight was over once that happened. Tension tried to retaliate. They did one final flip. It did nothing. And Disco Inferno just showing how deadly that giant disc really is. Poor Tension. Never Saw It Coming is a very unique bot, but unfortunately it has not had a good season. It's 0-2 after destructive losses to Smasher and Glass. If they want to avoid going 0-3, they'll have to take down the very deadly Cobalt, a new Blood Special winner who's currently 1-1 after an opening loss to Whiplash and a fantastic win over Grappler. Let's get into that fight right now. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Here we go. Cobalt trying to get some nice shots in, but Never Saw It Coming gets the first blow as they push him to the wall and trying to bring down that Saw lifter, and they're doing good so far actually, but Cobalt doesn't take that kindly as they get behind Never Saw It Coming. Never Saw It Coming can self-right. They got the saw blade on the lifting arm, and they're using it to try to cut into the top of Cobalt. Really interesting use of the weapon there. Cobalt is not impressed. They do not like that. And they just pound right into Never Saw It Coming. Never Saw It Coming needs to get out of there. They need to avoid those shots as best they can. Try to attack the side or the back of Cobalt. And remember, Cobalt cannot self-right. So if they can flip them over just once, they can win this fight. Oh, another good shot by Cobalt. Cobalt very low to the ground, so it won't be easy. Oh, never mind then as they slam Cobalt into the wall. Never Saw It Coming flips itself over, and they lose a piece of that front wedge thing. But they seem to be doing a lot better than I thought as they get behind Cobalt. And Cobalt in a lot of trouble as they're getting pounded by the Pulverizer. And we could be in for a massive upset if Cobalt cannot get away soon. Oh, more pieces of Never Saw It Coming starts to come off. But they seem to be winning this fight right now as Cobalt is getting pounded again and again by the Pulverizer. They gotta get out of there. Cobalt does, and they really need to battle back. They need to make up for that, and they are doing exactly that as they just throw Never Saw It Coming around. Another huge shot there, and they are just pushing them around. Never Saw It Coming. I don't know if they're still alive. Cobalt isn't giving me the chance to find out as they get another massive shot in. Never Saw It Coming has taken so much damage throughout this season. The fact that they even made it to a third fight is impressive. Oh, but Cobalt isn't going to make that easy for them as they get hit by the Pulverizer. And Cobalt really wants to show that that first loss to Whiplash was a fluke. They want to get into the main tournament, and they need to win this fight in order to do so. Never Saw It Coming just fighting to survive on the sidewall, and they're out of here, and Cobalt gets the win. Never Saw It Coming tried its best, but its best just wasn't good enough. I will say, this fight was surprisingly closer than I thought. Never Saw It Coming was not just a punching bag. It actually got some nice attacks in on Cobalt, and Cobalt were pretty scared, but they just weren't able to flip over Cobalt. They weren't able to permanently kill Cobalt despite their best efforts, and because of that, Cobalt was able to just show why they are so destructive, why they're so deadly. They've only ever lost one fight, and that's to Whiplash, and unfortunately Never Saw It Coming just never saw it coming in the end. We're at the halfway point of the episode, meaning it's time to take a look at our main event matchup between the full body spinner of Smasher and the 4-bar lifter Pump Up. Let's take a look right now. In our next fight, we have the 1-1 FBF going up against the 0-2 Terrific. Let's not waste any time, and let's get into that fight right now. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin, FBF, the full body flipper. Oh, there goes the spinner of Terrific, and Terrific thrown out of the arena. The fight's over in less than 10 seconds. FBF is now 2-1, and I think it's safe to assume they'll be in that tournament. Terrific at 0-3 is going home in a bin bag. So yeah, here's the replay. It's just the entire fight. Terrific got one hit on FBF. The second hit broke the weapon. FBF was unfazed. They immediately knew what to do. They got underneath FBF, pushed him near the wall, and just threw him right out of the arena. They only needed one flip to end the fight, and it was the perfect flip. Radiation is a bot that has just not been doing well. They're 0-2 after some devastating losses to Tombstone and Barnacles, in which they just never got to do anything. Their opponent is Bronco, who's currently 1-1. Can Radiation finally find some success against this legendary flipper bot? Let's find out now. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Does Radiation stand a chance? Bronco, they want to end this fight quickly to show what they can really do, and they have flipped over Radiation. Radiation cannot self-right, and yeah, that's going to be it. Bronco turning in victory. They know they've won this fight with barely a lift of the robotic finger. Radiation 0-3. They have been eliminated, and I don't feel bad at all. Yeah, here's the replay. Fun fact, Radiation, out of all the bots in this tournament, Radiation is my absolute least favorite, and I will not be sad to see them go. Bronco, one flip, the fight's over, nothing more, nothing less. That's about it. Goodbye, Radiation. Good riddance. Up next, we have a pair of 0-2 bots fighting for survival. First off, we have the delicious Burger Time. Burger Time is a cool and interesting bot, but unfortunately, in both of its fights, it just got overpowered and incapacitated, leaving the bot winless at 0-2. They will be fighting the very dangerous Anger Issues. This bot has a lot of potential with that large and powerful weapon, but its inability to self-right and its stability issues has led it to an 0-2 record as well. Which of these two bots will finally get a win this season? Let's find out right now. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Only here can you see a giant burger take on a giant fidget spinner. Anger Issues really wants to take out its anger on Burger Time, and they've done just that as they rip off the burger weapon and more pieces go flying. Another piece comes off of Burger Time, and Anger Issues is just tearing Burger Time apart. More pieces coming off. Oh, massive shot from Anger Issues. Anger Issues has so much mass in that weapon, and now they're finally able to show it as they throw Burger Time into the sky and over backwards. Oh, another huge shot to Burger Time. Anger Issues is, they're out of the arena. The fight's done, and poor Burger Time has just been completely obliterated. There's pieces of burger all over the box, and Anger Issues has shown just how dangerous they can really be. That 0-2 record is now a 1-2 record. And just so impressive. It may not be enough to get them into the tournament, but at least they show their potential in the end. And just look at this damage. I've never seen anything like this. That weapon so heavy, so dangerous. And he just turned Burger Time into mincemeat. Oh, another shot like that. And look at this. Froze them high into the sky, backwards. Never seen a hit like that. And then they just threw him around like a rag doll. And then he just got him out of the arena. Pieces of Burger Time everywhere. Poor Burger Time. And now we have reached the final fight you have all been waiting for. It's an amazing main event matchup between Pump Up and Smasher. First, let's talk about Pump Up. This 4-bar lifter got second place last season, and this year they've been almost unstoppable. Not only has it defeated 2 legendary bots in Bite Force and Revolutionist, but it did so without even trying and taking absolutely no damage in the process. However, Smasher was designed specifically to do as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. It absolutely obliterated its first 2 opponents, and it'll be hoping to do the exact same thing to Pump Up. Smasher has one of the heaviest weapons in the competition, and it always has the power to end a fight in just 1 hit. And now these 2 titans will clash in the ring to determine who will get a perfect 3-0 record. Whose unbeaten streak will come to an end? Let's find out right now. Three, 2, 1. Let the main event begin. Huge shot by Smasher right off the bat. They bounce into the corner. That's a really bad corner. That's the same corner Pump Up pushed its last 2 opponents out of. So Smasher needs to get out of there and spin up really quickly. Pump Up not giving them the chance. Smasher tries its best to get out of there. Pump Up gets underneath them. They're out of the arena, and they've done it again for the 3rd fight in a row. For the 3rd main event in a row. Pump Up has just pushed their opponent out of the arena in that exact corner in less than 30 seconds. Pump Up is king. At this point, I'm not sure if anything can stop Pump Up. Bite Force, Revolutionist, Smasher, all 3 very devastating spinners, all of them pushed out of the arena with relative ease, courtesy of this amazing blue lifter bot. Pump Up is just so perfect. It's so amazing at driving. It just pushes you around. It got Smasher into the corner, got him on the sidewall, and there was only one way that fight was going to end after that. Pump Up is looking good going to the tournament. They're 3-0. They'll definitely get a top 5 seed, and they could be on their way to the giant disc. And with all that said and done, we've reached the end of yet another action-packed episode. Just to recap, Emergency got sent to the emergency room by Witch Doctor. Duck was no match for Inverse. Tension got completely annihilated by Disco Inferno. Cobalt sent Never Saw It Coming to the scrapyard. FBF threw Terrific out of the arena and out of the competition. Radiation had a meltdown against Bronco. Burger Time got turned into ground beef against Anger Issues. And in our main event, Pump Up showed just how effective it can be in its incredible win over Smasher. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.